Computer. Dun, da, da, da. Okay.
Awesome.
Um, all right. Just a general update. We're 2 weeks into the youth schedule now. Um, we have four teams. The U13 team is full. I'm just looking for another girl there, and then there's spots open for the other younger teams. Um, I wanted to get into just explaining the training model of how I envision things based upon the resources we have and the budget that we can manifest with what we're doing. So I had visualized training to be 3 times a week, which is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6:30
Hmm.
p.m. for up to 2 hours. The focus on Tuesday would be skills, drills, tactical stuff, and then scrimmage at the end or like scrimmages during that. Whenever the kids are just getting too overworked and just, what I normally do is I'll take a break and I'll make them do scrimmages for like 10 minutes and then I'd flow them back into a training program for skills, drills, and tactics. And then on Thursday, the focus is so sorry, on Tuesday, the focus would be 90% would be skills, drills, and tactics. And then on Thursday, with 10% scrimmage. And then on Thursday, it's the reverse. It's mostly scrimmage with
Hmm.
10% tactics. And what I've been doing is like um, I will go and I'll give one-on-one specific coaching to a child who maybe is struggling with something or, just some finer tips. But I usually like putting them into problems where they're solving it as a team. So the scrimmages are, two teams facing each other. I usually always break them up into age groups, which is ages 5 to 10 is one group, and
Hmm.
then ages 11 and to 13 is another group. The total amount of kids is 51 students right now, but they are split into two sections. So I've got my South Side families go to the South Side and the North Side families train on the North Side. So
Yeah.
you might get um 20 to 25 maybe max students at one particular location. So the focus on Tuesdays was to have as many of the coaches there as possible because for those who have seed licenses, that's a paid gig. So that's $40 an hour for you guys who have your licenses to do those Tuesday trainings. And then since I know that I don't have all those coaches available all the time, I have volunteer coaches that come in on Tuesdays to sort of learn what you're doing because they're new to it. They've never done this before. And they learn from, the skill sets that you guys show. And then the idea is I juggle the volunteer coaches on Thursdays and Fridays, which in that case, they're just doing supervision. They're just teachers watching the students play and then just giving them pointers. And then on Saturday is leg day. So at Greaseball Park, there's a hill with three sections of stairs. And then on the south side, we train at the Alfred Savage Center, which has got a long stairwell, and then there's hiking trails. And so what I wind up doing is I focus on leg exercises, developing the ankles, and then we do hard challenges and hikes through the forest areas so that their feet are always uneven, so that they're developing more ankle and leg strength. And then there's a whole series of exercises that we wind up doing for 30 or 40 minutes on the stairwell. And then what the kids don't realize is that when I take them hiking through the woods, they're doing the same exercises, but they're laughing about it. They're having fun. They don't know. I mean, they're getting exhausted. They don't know that they're exercising in the same group. And sometimes I split the stairs. I use the stairs for 5 or 10 minutes as a warm up, and then I shovel them through obstacle courses in the forest. I'm going to work backwards now. So on Saturdays, when I do take them through the forest, I've got ropes set up and I break them up into about three or four teams, which each team has a captain who's in charge of the rope. And they fight for the rope. I say, who's going to be the rope captain? And they go. And then once I get them to certain places, I'll say, okay, the older guys will take the more steep route. The lead guy with the rope has got to get to the top, anchor the rope. and then bring it down. And then the idea is that the kids have to be leaning back on the rope and pulling themselves up more with upper
Mm,
body strength and grips. And then it's a time thing. So they all have to kind of solve it in a different way at a different pace. And then there's other instances once they've done that little kind of obstacle course, then we do timed um, explosive runs up let's say 30 or 40 meters. And we time it to see who's the fastest group. They either do it individually or they do it as a group broken up. And then we go through, we go through the force in many different ways. They wind up complaining and bitching about, the thorns and whatnot, but they do have an adventure and they like it. They've been talking a lot about they like the adventure. And of course,
mm.
it's really therapeutic to be around trees and nature and the birds and all this stuff. And they see a whole bunch of different critters or hear them in the distance. Um, so the Alfred Savage Center has got a really robust area. The Greaseball Park doesn't have the dense forest area, but it's got some challenging stairs, and it's built on a hill. So there's exercises to do on a hill, on the stairs, hike through the path,
Okay.
and at the end, I wind up doing like a tug of war with them. So I'll split them up into two groups. I've got a 50-foot battle rope. I'll take certain age groups and I'll get like nine aside, and they pull it. And the ones that aren't playing are doing a short scrimmage. And then we do tug of war for like three times to see who wins. Then we switch sides and they go play scrimmage. And by that time, an hour and a half is flown by really, really fast. Usually the leg day I wrap up after about an hour and a half. Um,
Okay.
so they don't have to stay there for the 2 hours. The challenge I'm having right now is that some of my coaches, because of work and because of volunteering, it's posing some issues. And so I'm looking at staggering this so that I do my south side leg day at 4 p.m. I wrap that up and then I head over to Greaseball and I do the second set with the north side families and do a leg day for them over there. So that represents leg day on Saturdays. For 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 Thursday, all we need is like I set you guys up where you've got cones and two balls because you don't need more than that. And then the cones set up different target areas. So like, and I will vary the size of the field so that they're more dense. They're closer together, forcing them to do more tactical footwork to keep the ball close to them, or more tactical, strategic passing. And then sometimes I will set up so that there's three small goals on either end, and I'll yell out middle goal or left or right. And then they've got to change their dynamics so they're constantly, and you're familiar with all this stuff. So
Mm.
me telling you this stuff is nothing. So um, and then it's less challenging for the 11 plus year olds because they organize themselves, they get going, they want to. And then the younger ones are a little bit of a challenge, but I like training the younger ones. And then I let them go at it. I'll do breaks or whatever based upon the temperature and stuff like that, as you know. And that's pretty much the gist of it. So, and then on Tuesdays, the way I have visualized it is that we all start off, there'll be the two groups are separated, um, but they're all doing the same drills or variations of the same drills.
Mhm.
And then with more coaches coming in, then there can be more TLC, more one-on-one coaching, um, or as a coach, you're part of the first line of 5 or 6 year old kids, and you're responsible for the next line, and so on and so forth. And then there's more um, crossing the line and giving just individual instruction to the child, whether or not it's doing, toe taps or rollovers or whatever it is. And then I like incorporating like a good 10 to 15 minutes of those types of drills. And then once you guys have assessed that you think that's enough, then
Mhm.
you could break out into a scrimmage for 5 or 10 minutes. 10 minutes I usually go for, and then I go back to drills again because I want them to focus more on that type of instruction. Keep in mind that all of these kids they're community level kids, tier three, tier four. There's the odd one that might be tier two capacity. Um, and as we get older, we'll probably get, more talented kids that, need more. But right now you're looking at tier three. Um, so there's some agility issues, but they're making leaps and bounds. The more TLC they get,
Mm,
they make leaps and bounds and changes. And it's really inspiring to see that kind of growth and development in them just by giving them more love, and
mm,
it's just amazing. Um, and so what I would think is that after you've done on the Tuesday, when you've done like the core training and you've done a game and maybe some additional training, then if there's three or more coaches, then you could probably split them up into their age groups for their
okay,
team
yeah.
because there's four teams. And then in that case, you might be looking at 7 or 8 kids in a team
Hmm.
because the other ones are on the other side of the city.
Okay.
So that actually, since FIFA had suggested or CSA has suggested that we should have one coach for 8 to 12 kids, which is a nice ratio, I guess.
Hmm.
That actually puts us into the sweet spot where we can still maintain a high level of, one-on-one specific
Yeah.
coaching.
Individual coaching, yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I do is like I will be like all those family groups are in WhatsApp groups. I will send them drills that their kids should be doing at home.
Yeah.
Some of them are doing that. And you can tell. You can tell as soon as that kid next week you'll say, "Holy shit, that kid made leaps and bounds." That one's
Hmm.
practicing. And oh, hang on, that was Evan. I just want to see if he's going to join us now. Yeah, come on in and join us now if you can. Um, so what was I going to say? I think we can, and I needed to stagger it out in these three different formats based upon, again, the resources that we have, the budget
Hmm.
that I can afford to pay. So it's only you guys that are getting your $40 an hour. The volunteer ones aren't. The only other thing that I provide in compensation is if someone's volunteered to be a coach on a team, their child plays for free. I've also made it clear to the parents that the coaches are there to coach and nothing else. Any kind of questions are to be directed to admin. If there's discipline issues, like for example, last week on the north side, there were two boys that were misbehaving,
Hmm.
and that caused some disruption. And one of my volunteer coaches said, "Hey, this is the issue. I'm ready to pull out. I'm not, I didn't prepare him. So I got to
Hmm.
take the onus that he didn't. I didn't prepare him. He's only done some of his courses so far, so he's got to get up to speed to this. But what I do in that particular case is I if the child's in my loop, I will deal with the child directly, and that looks like Evan, and then I contact the parents directly as well. Um, hey Evan or Evna. um, the I've also sent out a email outlining a policy, um, sort of like a policy guideline for parents and kids, outlining what I want, what the expectations are of them, that, playtime is based upon merit and, effort put in and professionalism and sportsmanship. And I've requested all parents to read this with their child and to reply back with "we agree." So that's worked out well. On my side, I had a kid accidentally drop the F word. Um, and some of my other kids who've been with Spartan know that we're not supposed to talk, and that was pointed out, and I politely confronted that child and said, "Hey, these are the expectations, blah blah blah. Please don't use that language." In my case, I make that person openly acknowledge that to everyone else, so that everyone's witnessed what that child said. I agree not to swear again. Then in my brain, that's like a commitment. Hey, I'm making a promise to all of you. I'm not going to do that again. And then I
Hmm.
do that with the young ones as well. Like the younger ones, the 5 to 10, there was a high level of energy, and one kid accidentally kicked another child in the stomach. I don't believe it was intentional. It's clumsiness. And so I made that child as well apologize. for that, and to make a promise to his teammates that this isn't going to happen again. And this is always going to happen, but I don't want you coaches to deal with this if this isn't something that
Mm.
you don't have in your toolbox to deal with. Dump all of that stuff on me. Parents know they're not supposed to be asking you any kind of questions about, oh, I want my child to be a striker or whatever,
Mm.
or where's my kid's uniform or anything like that. All that directs me. I just want you guys to coach and nothing else. If you want to do more, that's up to you. But the expectations, I just want you guys to bring your talents to making the kids grow in terms of development. Just to recap the fees, we charge $750 per child, and that includes a full uniform, which is jersey, shorts, and socks. And that provides them with 3 times a week, up to 3 times a week training from now until the end of September. And to my knowledge, nobody else does that.
Mm.
Everyone else typically stops after the last game, after the last youth game, which is typically the end of June. Maybe there's like 1 or 2 games that spill over into July because
Yeah.
of rainouts, but everyone else comes to a stop. And so as a differentiator, I designed the business model around the ideas that we keep training. And Spartan is a twofold process. So those kids who join the club get the 3 times a week training. And then there's kids that maybe don't want to play competitive games. They can just do the training aspect of it. And that's the academy angle of it.
Hmm.
That's a separate fee that they pay, which is $120 a month. Or if they do a package where they buy 4 months at a time, they get a discount. But then
Hmm.
they get up to 3 times a week training. That helps me to generate the money that I need to buy the equipment and to pay for you guys. So, and all the other things that we have to pay, like the registration fees, the uniforms, like whatnot. So I'm happy to say we're at 51 or 53 kids right now. We have room.
Very good.
Yeah, that's more than double the size of Spartan since last year. So I'm pumped. Um, and right now I'm at the point where I'm more than busy enough just to handle this on myself. It gets any more busier. I'm not at that stage yet where I can hire someone. I don't have that
Mm.
yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think if I get maybe another 20 kids, that'll generate a little bit of a budget where I can
Yeah.
contract someone out to help me take some of the volume. Um, and I think that's going to happen during the course of the summer as we develop the academy side of it.
Yeah.
Um, so I was hoping that Nick Brazel would be on here. He's one of the volunteer coaches, and I wanted to show him how I did things. Evan, if you missed stuff, this is all being recorded, and then it'll be put on a private channel on YouTube for you to view later, to sort of cover any of the questions that that were addressed in the first 20 minutes or so. Um, what else? I think that covers all the things I wanted to address, which is breaking the kids up into 2 groups, how I wind up doing it, a couple stories of discipline, which I just shared, the policy thing. I wanted you guys to just coach. Admin problems go to Teo, and then the pending academy growth influx. So I'm expecting a lot more kids to join just for the summer portion of it because we get classified as technically an open academy, and anyone can really come in there and join. So at this point, I'd like to just open up the floor for any questions you guys might have that I'd be happy to address. Manny or Evan, Evan, you can unmute yourself, or I will for you, and then you can just okay. I'll ask to unmute. I guess I have to do that. Okay, you're unmuted. So whoever
Yeah,
talks, they're
sorry, I'm
going to
just
talk.
eating here at the same time. But
Oh, okay, no problem.
yeah, listening away. And yeah, no, you already kind of got one thing in terms of discipline. The one boy was swearing, and I wasn't totally sure how to be dealing with that one. It was reported well after the training was done, but I got to start taking names or something because I'll start passing that off to you.
Sure. Yeah, let me handle the discipline, not a problem. Unless you want to handle it, I'm happy to deal that with that stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I'll for the time being until I know everybody, I'll just kind of mention it to you for sure.
Okay. Okay. Also, I didn't know that those fields are booked. So when I was there on Thursday, there was no one on those large fields on Thursday. But what I did do is I set us up over that central hill, and then I set up two scrimmage fields next to the rink. Those smaller 6v6 fields in the far corner of Greenfield, they were in use, I'm assuming, by EMSA, because there looked like there was league games going on there. But so there's a ton of space. Parks are not booked, only the fields are booked. And if we ever get into a problem where we need to move somewhere else, then I'll find somewhere else. But that's been working out fairly fine. So maybe Tuesday, those two large fields might be in use, in which case just move over to the hill that's in the center of the park, and then there's large green space next to the between the hockey rink and the baseball diamond. And there's a lot of other little sections there that are large green spaces and stuff like that.
Yeah, you betcha. Even the fields back behind there by the hockey rink were in use on Tuesday too, but there is
Yeah,
a large green space for sure.
yeah. So that's what I wound up doing. And then I mean, at some point in the future, I'd like every kid to come with their own ball, but I don't have a budget for that yet. Um, I really don't want coaches to be, at some point in the future, I don't want coaches to be bringing more than two soccer balls and cones. I want every child to have their own soccer ball so that they can, do whatever's necessary. And that might happen. I'm close to closing on a deal for corporate sponsors, so I think that would be a nice touch to give everyone an orange training ball. But right now, it is what it is, and you guys just have what you have right now. Um, if you have enough for Thursdays, I just use two soccer balls because I only have two scrimmages set up for the kids. Obviously, for Tuesdays, you need more if you guys are doing different types of um, skill training and development. Um, as I had mentioned earlier, there's volunteer coaches that are involved in here, so I'm hoping that they show up on Tuesdays whenever possible to learn from you guys. Um, and yeah, so any other questions, Evna or Manny?
No, no questions at this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sorry, eating at the same time here. I'm pretty up to speed with just basic stuff for now, and yeah, anything else I can think of, I'll toss your way.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. I think this is a good start. We're gonna have, like, growing pains, and that's fine. Um, and the kids are motivated, which is good. And there's only been like less than a handful of kids that have been sort of challenging, but they've been dealt with. I'm assuming more kids are going to be challenging, and as usual, it's a repeat thing where you have to tell them over and over again. But you guys know that, you know how that works. But so if you guys have no further questions, I guess we can just we can wrap this up so you can get to your private lives. Okay.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for taking the time, Teo. And yeah, you're doing a great job and you have something going there. So I'm always looking forward to hear from, the latest developments in Sparta soccer. And we know each other for a bunch of years now. And, like I always enjoy seeing you every time, Teo. So yeah, very good.
It's a pleasure to see you both as well, and you, Manny. We go back a long time, so that's good. All right. Well, Evan, if you've got nothing, then I'm gonna end this Zoom meeting, and we'll carry on.
Is
Oh,
one last thing.
sure.
I noticed your lovely sweater. Is there a chance that coaches could have anything branded to wear for training or
Yes. Yeah.
yeah?
I should be sending out an email tonight. Coaches get free gear. And so I want all my coaches to wear red tops to distinguish ourselves from anyone else.
Yeah,
There's a history behind red. Red was Spartans wore to combat, they wore red capes. And so that the movie 300 is what inspired me to come up with Spartan. So red is like on our Spartan shirts, the back is red and that represents the cape. But yeah, I want all of our coaches to be wearing red tops. Um, and there's some new stuff that we're coming out in terms of promo gear. So as coaches, you get all that.
for
Uh,
sure.
and so hopefully I'll get that email out tonight. I've been behind on stuff, but yeah, I'd like to see you guys wear that. And Manny's all geared up.
Yes.
I think Alex
Yeah,
got his stuff. Your size what? I forgot. What size are you again, Evan? Are you medium or
I'm a large. Large
large?
will do.
I don't think I have a large, but you'll have something.
All good. Yeah, no, just it'd be nice with the size of the crowd right now. I kind of just look like an average person. I don't nobody knows I'm the coach. So especially the kids too, they can look see my shirt and
Yeah,
oh, there's coach. If anybody doesn't know me, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, my
So
game
just something I
plan.
thought of.
Yeah, no, and that's good. My game plan was like right now on Tuesdays I coach the U7 team, so they play from 6:15 until 7:30ish. Otherwise, once that season's done, then I'm going to wind up circulating back to the Tuesdays to give you assistance. And
Nice.
then right now, I think John Dalton is coming to the Tuesday training with you to learn. The kids are eventually going to recognize you. I need to get a flag to the South Side guys, and then you could just plant that, and then everyone will see the Spartan flag, and then they'll just cluster around that because they've all the players and families have seen the flag before, so that might help as well. And then over time, they'll
Flag's a nice touch. Yeah.
yeah. The only
Mhm.
other thing that I have might be red would be a red penny with the Spartan emblem on it. I can give you that temporarily. Well, I can give you one of those for now. Um, I just don't have anything else in stock right now.
Mm,
Nothing. So all of
okay.
that's toques, beanies, track pants, hoodies, track jackets. Oh, backpacks. Backpacks that are specifically for soccer players, but where it has a pouch for a ball and shoes and stuff. But the parents will wind up buying that kind of stuff anyway. Yeah, so it's all looking cool. I'm
All
excited.
good.
I'm excited at the growth
Yeah.
as well. And as you know, soccer politics, that is still nipping at my ankles. So as we get bigger, I'm anticipating more issues as well. So
Mm.
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can
No.
handle it. I can take it, and that's fine. I just want the kids to develop. At the end of the day, I just want the kids to develop. I want you guys to do what you guys are best known for is just making them learn and grow and become better human beings. And if we've done that, we win. That's it. I'm going to
Yeah.
stop blabbing now. Okay. So, any more questions, Evan?
No, I'm all good, Tail.
Okay, buddy. All right. Well, you all take care and have a good evening, gentlemen.
You as
For
well,
sure.
Teo.
Okay. Bye.